Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to my Pixel Quest, where we're continuing with our blind playthrough of Ace Attorney investigations, Miles Edgeworth, and we have met young Edgeworth just at the beginning of his career, a young Gumshoe at the beginning of his career, and so many other interesting characters, and I couldn't be more keen, more enthusiastic to see where this case in this courtroom setting takes us. It's so fascinating to be launching into a crime that's taking place in a courtroom, and there are judges and there are old and new prosecutors and old and new lawyers, and it's all wrapped up in, across multiple cases that I assume are going to be reaching out into the cases that we've been dealing with. I mean, of course they are. I'm 100% certain of that. Oh, and I love this character. I love Ms. Yu. I love her. It's nice to see you again, Ms. Yu. But this guy is going to be probably for her, a terrible source of trauma, because I'm guessing that this is the guy who was accused of murdering her sister. But I don't know any of these details yet. That's my assumption. So let's go forward and see what happens. Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again. Now. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat? Of course she would not. Fine, let's go. Don't do it, you! Don't do it! Oh, there's so many bad dudes around. Bad. Sorry, what did you call me? Von Karma? It's been a long time. I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception. Do you know Detective Bad, sir? Yes. He's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective. It's not like I don't know that. Moving on though, Bad. The man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG8 incident? Oh, don't you know, Manfred? Oh, you don't have perfect knowledge of everything? So I was right. Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile. I would have proven his guilt in 3 minutes. Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. I can't help but really like Bad, to be honest. I feel like he's actually going to be a likable detective. Very well. Back on topic, I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection!
Whoa! Ah! Are you kidding me? What? Oh, it's a little baby. She's a little baby. And instead of a whip, she's got one of those, is it a riding crop? It's a riding crop, right? Oh, look at her hair, her little bob. Papa, how can you place him in charge? Francisca, what are you doing here? I'm here for summer vacation. What else? I'm a young girl and I take summer vacation with my riding crop. Francisca von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his who is also junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it. Hang on, was that a thing he was thinking? He was thinking that of himself. He was thinking that to himself. That's so funny that she responded to that. You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. Oh, so she's not even practicing yet. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never. Ever. Why does she always have to be this competitive? Oh, why do you? Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Well, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. Yeah, but you're literally not. And I am 100% confident that I can do a better job than him. Look at her little cutie face. That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Alright, my darling little fluffy kitty Pixel has had his dinner and is very happily munching away. So, she has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Bad. Sorry, excuse me, what did you call me? Yeah? These two will be conducting the investigation. What? What? You want me to let both these kids loose on the crime scene? Oh my god. Is she going to be our assistant? Huh, this is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills. A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I love this guy. He's like a real person. I am the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad, and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francisca, I leave this case to the two of you. Understood, sir. Adorable. Yes, Papa. I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me. Wow. Hold up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this. She's so short. Miles Edgeworth. It's been quite some time, Francisca. This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. Would it kill you to at least say hello? Long time no see. Very good. Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud. She hasn't changed a bit. Miles Edgeworth. As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name. For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter. It looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him. He never fails. Now I'd appreciate it if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. It was an interesting little moment. Whoa. Now that is strange. I mean, it certainly doesn't sound like these two were, were doing the things that they are presented as having done. It sounds like neither of them were willing participants in any of these actions. And the window is open, someone else has gotten themselves involved here. But yeah, I wonder, we haven't had confirmation yet, but I assume that this guy here is Kay's father, which is sad. Maybe the other guy is also a father of somebody I don't know. And also, even if he's not, that's also sad. You know what I mean. Okay. Defendant lobby number 2. Is the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously? It's probably not. Probably not. This looks pretty sloppy, I've got to say. How would they even fall like this? Why is there a bag of blood? Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking. Who is this guy in the portrait here over on the left? It kind of looks like he's in judge clothing, maybe, but at the same time he has a full head of hair and only a little moustache. What are you talking about? I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. A competition. The person that figures out the truth first wins. So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name. Oh man, this is such a bad way of doing it. Collaboration is a much better way to achieve your goals rather than through competition. Exactly. I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolishly foolish mouth. Fine, whatever makes you happy. You shouldn't agree to this because this is absolutely, against any, teamwork approach. Like, she's going to hide things from you. You guys are going to compete. You're not going to share information. You're not going to share thoughts and hunches and discuss things amicably. Can I take that as you accepting my challenge? Once again, whatever makes you happy. Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am. Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. Well, you're participating in it, Edgeworth, instead of forcing her to be more professional. Oh, he's back. He can't stay away. Hold it there, kid. Ha, serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid. I said kids, kid. How dare you call me a kid as well? I'll do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy. You're going to watch over these two. Yes, we teamed up with Gumshoe again. Yes, sir, Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay? It's weird to hear orders from Gumshoe like that. You'd better not get in our way, Scruffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. Is this the first time is she just meeting him now? Is this the first time she's calling him Scruffy? Eek! The new prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started already, alright? Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child. Well, I mean, like he's senior to you. You're literally just starting out, dude. I mean, so is he, but he's still senior to you. It seems to me. I don't really know how this works, but it seems like it. All right, so let's get investigating. Oh, my name is Miles. I thought it was just going to go into the investigation. My name is Miles Edgeworth. Introductions. And if you were to call me Prosecutor Boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. He's such a little, Edgeworth. Don't be like this. Don't be like this to him. Like, this is such a snarky, it's like a little snarky, entitled young kid move, What? And what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was? That's up to you now, isn't it? Really? Sounds good, pal. He's so naive. Sounds good, pal. Defendant lobby number 2. All right. Oh, no, we still don't have free run of things. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. I did want to say just a little theorizing. I was thinking a little in the background about Kay's father, and I'm going back to, I feel like what they're doing is they're leading us to the assumption that Kay's father is the Yatagarasu, but I'm going back to a really strong feeling that he's not. I feel it's all somehow a bit of a red herring. Maybe he was even happy because it seems like in whatever this sort of previous courtroom dynamic was, it almost seems like he was kind of welcoming the accusation, or even in that conversation that he seemed to be having with the other dead guy here. I think it seemed. No, it wasn't with this dude. With somebody. I've forgotten. He was having a conversation and saying, there's another way to handle difficult cases or something like that. So it all seems to be sort of hinting in that direction. Maybe he himself welcomed the accusation. Maybe he himself was even thinking of kind of yatagarasu-like tactics to do things outside of, legality. But I just, in my gut, I don't think he's the yatagarasu. And it's not only in my gut. I'm also thinking, this guy is now dead. This guy is now dead. I might be misremembering here, but didn't we... I don't know. I'm just thinking... All right, I'll say this out loud. I'm not finishing sentences here. But wasn't there yatagarasu activity before the beginning of our first case in this game? I don't know whether they're implying that activity came from Kay herself, but at the same time, it seems like, and I don't know if Kay's lying to us about not having actually stolen anything, but it kind of felt like that was sincere. Like she is really, really, really just starting out and actually hasn't done anything. It seemed to me that the yatagarasu has existed within these 7 years, So if this guy is dead, and if the yatagarasu has been doing stuff somewhere within the 7 years from now to, our kind of current time in this game, then he, of course he's not the yatagarasu. And because I wish to, because this is what I want it to be, my theory is fully at this stage that it is our defense lawyer, Yu. I want her so much to be the yatagarasu. It could be bad. It could be our detective bad here. Not unthinkable, probably a bit weird, but nothing is unthinkable in this game. But I hope it's you. Not you. I hope it's our defense lawyer, you, because she's so cool. She's so cool. Of course she's the yatagarasu. And I feel like at this point in the game, there's not really anything pointing towards her. If anything, things are probably kind of, pointing away from her in some ways. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm hoping. And this is the it's not the youngest Miles Edgeworth that I've ever seen, without elaborating, just in case anyone hasn't seen any other particular games, but it's the youngest sort of lawyer, adult. It's not even really an adult yet, is he? It's the youngest kind of lawyer, playable, prosecutor, but prosecutor, playable Miles Edgeworth, which is super cool. And he's really green. Like he's more emotional. He's more reactive. I'm really enjoying getting this insight into a less self-controlled Edgeworth. It's really cool. And also he's wearing this exciting, awesome, and ridiculous jacket. This very interesting jacket that is a bit, it's very Von Karma-ish, but it's also totally Edgeworth-ish. He's making it his own. So anyway, we're about to find out what is the first question of this investigation from Edgeworth's perspective. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. I'm just watching his Bad's animation here. He's such a cool cat. I love this, I love that they've kind of made him... He's not really a noir kind of style detective. I mean, in some ways he absolutely is, but it's not as if it's fully that or anything. Like he has I suppose a kind of a very grizzled modern noir, but certainly he is noir colored. And noir in a noir kind of detective in the sense that he is, he's hard, he's grizzled, he's clearly he's been through a lot, probably a fair bit cynical. Such an interesting design. And he appears to have a watch that has no face, and he's got bullet holes or very neat moth holes all through his clothing. Super interesting. And I just love this, I really love that they've done him in a sketchier style, like it's subtle, but clearly it is there. Like he just has a rougher line work, which is really awesome. It's really well done. I'm very impressed with this guy. The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Interesting knife. You know what? I'm going to say that looks more like a letter opener than a knife, right? And a bit of a fancy one at that. I can't really exactly make out. No, it's a butterfly, isn't it? That's butterflies. That's butterflies. That's like each side looks like it's a half of a butterfly. Where, and I don't know what that golden bit is, but that's very, like even the blade itself is very ornate, and that golden bit is, I mean, it sort of looks like a 5-petal, flower, possibly even a family insignia. Looks very similar to a lot of kind of common family insignias in Japan, which would be, which if this is the murder weapon, then that would make this, it would seem very much like somebody is trying to frame somebody else if it's got things like that are as obvious as this on it. The butterfly, we've seen butterflies, and I'm racking my brains right now to think who butterflies were associated with. Who? Do I have something on me? Who was associated with butterflies? Is it someone in this case? We haven't actually looked at these, have we? Oh, we've got so many people here now. Okay, I've got to go through these as well, so maybe it's a good time to do that. So Manfred von Karma, who has a very... He looks like a fish. He looks like a fish. Subnautica villain. Bern Faraday, yeah. We've looked at him. Have we looked at this guy? Maybe. Dead Man. Kodopian embassy staff member was gunned down in front of embassy by Rel. Mackerel. I love this guy. I've said before, he just looks like a fisherman. And the fact that his name is Mackerel. Yeah. Kind of like a sort of a very stereotypical, working class labourer guy, in Japanese culture. Embassy staff killing suspect. He was killed in lobby number 2 with the handgun. Yatagarasu. Real identity is unknown, but claims to be a noble thief. Infiltrated the embassy. And I feel like they're trying to point us towards this guy being the Yatagarasu. And I've said before, I'm at the moment my favoured theory, and it's really just because I so badly want it to be true, is that Callisto Yu is the Yatagarasu. But look at her. Look at her. She's so cool. She's so cool. She's the Yatagarasu. A girl with a balloon. During the recess, she asked me to change some coins for her. Judge in embassy staff killing. The judge. Age? We don't know. We don't know her age. We don't know their age. This guy's 32. Tyrell Bad. What a great name. I don't think he's bad. Eagle-eyed homicide detective. Was called in to be expert witness on the Yatagarasu case. 53. I just like him. I like him. Maybe he is bad, but I like him. Callisto Yu, my new favorite character. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant Rel. I was to battle her in court. She's 22. Dick Gumshoe, 26. New rookie detective at the precinct. First crime scene. Seems very enthusiastic. Yeah, I love that they've just lightened his coat as if it's just a bit newer. Manny Cochin, 24. Man, that's not a 24-year-old's face, right? That's not a 24-year-old's face. Kodopian embassy staff member. He was the suspect in the KG8 incident. Interesting. Yeah, very, very chiseled face. Wild hair. And he's outside this room having a chat with Callisto, or he's outside the courtroom. I'm not sure if they left or not. Francisco von Karma, my mentor's daughter, studying to be a prosecutor in Germany, back on break. 13. It should be so illegal to have her involved in any of this. It should be so illegal. But anyway, we just have to ignore this. This game is determined to have extremely young people in positions they should not be occupying. But I have never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There is no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if? It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid. Yeah, we were complimented. Is he going to treat me like a child forever? It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Is it? Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence so as to protect the honour of the Von Karma name. Oh, Edgeworth. Oh, Edgeworth. He don't yet know. He don't yet know about Von Karma. Bless his little naive, handsome face. There's some stuff in the bag, pal. I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. This is the evidence? I'd better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? So mean from the outset. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Neat and tidy table. Maybe. They were super quiet in their scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know. Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. It's kind of odd that this seems... Let's just have him run towards us while I'm speaking. It's kind of interesting that they seem to be using this table's tidiness, like the lack of, that there's no sign, to say, that maybe there wasn't a scuffle. But it's not as if every scuffle, every fight that two people have is going to be a wild, thrashing, sort of a wild thrashing event where they're just kind of throwing each other all around the room, is it? Like, it's not necessarily the case. But maybe that's not what it's about. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. It's just a plant, Edgeworth. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Oh, that's cute. Does he? I can't even remember now. I wish I could remember if he had a little plant in there. Probably he does. I feel like that's a reference to something that he'll do later. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Rell. It looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right. And what would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? But that is kind of what I want to do, so... what? Now I've been downgraded to just boy? Stop taking it so personally. I mean, I know it is personal, but like it's also just this guy's mannerisms, and you are very young, like it's I guess what I mean is you don't need to be so upset about it. Like it's kind of his insecurity, I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me. As you wish. See what I mean? Like, competition is going to get you both nowhere. It looks like this sofa is ready to be disposed of. It's so soft, I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing. Finger waggle. If only I could dispose of him. Oh, you love him. This is a blossoming love. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy. Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Plastic bags used to store evidence are strewn all over the floor. Great. Maybe we're ready for some logic, but is there... Can we look at this print? Doesn't seem like it. Yes, there we go. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. It looks that way, doesn't it? But I think these guys have been placed here. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However, using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha! What was that outburst for? My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. So let's examine away. I'd like to... Yeah, let's look at the knife or the... the knife or the... what's the word? I said it before. Like the envelope opener. It's not the phrase. Looks like Mr. Rell died with the knife in his hand. Maybe it is a knife. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. It's interesting that it has his little belief in there. Let's look at the gun. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although, I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. Gumshoe! It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. I have to agree with that statement. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Handgun data jotted down. Was Faraday's evidence from embassy staff killing case? It was found in his hand. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? We have discussed this at length at this stage, but those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. We've said it several times already. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Oh, this is exactly the same text. I thought it would... Yeah. That's exactly the same text. I thought we'd get something different, and especially I thought that they would comment here about the blood one. The one that's full of blood when there's no blood anywhere else. Alright, let's look at these two. Mr. Faraday, how ironic is it for... Oh. I'm kind of reading that with the wrong tone. Mr. Faraday, how ironic is it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse. Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. It's really kind of using pal, like overusing it in some odd ways. It's interesting. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder. Right, I'm on it, pal. Oh, we can look at him separately. First, he killed a Cadopian embassy staff member. Then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know. Oh, what makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Dade Mann. Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yep. Do you know about it? It's a special feeling that all We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. That's it, I think. That's it. Oh. His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what that could be. I mean, it could be from his hand being close to the firing of the gun. But I suppose there's any number of other things it could be. Could be ink. If you look closely, this blotching pattern there we go, resembles an ink stain. Why is there ink on such a place anyway? An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. And that is his left hand. So, alright, there we go. I'm sure that what this is going to... I was thinking that it was going to be... that it might lead us to a certain document that he had written. But actually, I'm imagining now that it's probably just he writes with his left hand, he is left-handed, and therefore the gun should not be in his right hand. Classic murder mystery type logic there. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Okay, well let's take a look at... Oh, it's doing on its own. It's progressing on its own, I mean. Mr. Earl's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that somebody would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Earl's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you do have a point. He feels like he strategically used the word perfect with her because he knows that that's the good way to get her to agree. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Okay, I'll just turn them off then. Okay. Pen. Stab wound. Gunshot. And something in this guy's... Something in... I've just noticed something. It may be nothing. It may be nothing. So obviously something important in Mackerel's hand here. But I just had a weird thought, and at the moment I can't imagine that this is probably nothing, because I can't think of any obvious connections about why this would be the case. And I think it's just a coincidence. But it's all I was thinking is that Rel's necklace here just looks very, very similar to the little chain that was coming out of the pocket of Lance in the previous case. It probably doesn't mean anything, because it's probably just that this is a gold chain and the thing coming out of his pocket was a gold chain, and this is how you draw a gold chain in this style. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably just that they're the same things and therefore drawn the same. But I can't help noticing. I desperately also want to see underneath this guy's Faraday's neckerchief, because it just feels conspicuous and often means that something is being hidden there. So I'd like to see that. All right, anyway, let's investigate. So, well, let's do what we think will be the least important things first. It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding. Ouch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed. Just keep your mind on the case, all right? That's a hilarious comment to make. Like, you know, from a detective or any one of these people involved in crime solving. Oh my god, imagine being stabbed. Oh my god, ouch. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand. That's the one Mr. Rell got blown away by, right? Labby, your answer. Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun. Okay. Oh, ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from. Yeah, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal. Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy. Eek, come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya? I don't know if he should. I love you, Gumshoe, but you know, you should be better at this. You should know the basics. So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rell. Can we look at his... No, we can't look at his chain. First he killed a Cadopian embassy... No, this is the same, right? Yeah, this is the same. Okay. I don't know. I thought they might give us a different comment. So that one's checked. Let's look at the pen. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Da-da! Has a nice nib. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Let's look at this. I'm going to leave the hand for last. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby. Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Okay. Seems a bit ambiguous, but okay. Nothing else. Alright. What? I mean, maybe he doesn't have something in his hand. Because I guess this could just be the tile. Maybe that's just the tile line underneath. But, I mean, in fact, maybe it's just a gap between his fingers there showing the floor. But right? Like, I've played a lot of these games. And people often have something that they're holding in their hand. Like, people who have been murdered often have a conspicuously closed fist like this. Alright. Well, that might be everything that we have to actually look at on the scene here. Oh no, we haven't looked at the bullet hole. Shot in the chest. It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. I'm not sure that you should even be, you know, talking about Mr. Faraday doing these things. Yeah, this seems presumptuous. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go. Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. Okay, alright, we've got a lot of stuff to check out. Are we going to get an opportunity to? Well, let's just look at this one for the time being. Yeah, so we looked at this. Was in hall on guard. Was in hall on guard duty other than gunshot. Didn't hear a sign of struggle. That's Gumshoe's testimony. Yeah, I mean, I think that the conclusion that we're going to draw from this and from the undisturbed table with the tea set is that there was not a struggle. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rel's hand, but we can't look at it in any detail. Found in Faraday's hand, bullet that killed Rel was fired from a few yards away, but we can't look in detail. Notes pertaining to Burn, Faraday and Mackerel. So, yeah, general details about them. Time of death. Time of death is always a suspicious inclusion. Were they killed much earlier than we're thinking? Discovered immediately after a gunshot was heard. Remarks about the bodies. Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest. I don't know, that seems like odd phrasing to me. I don't know about you. Rel died of bullet wound to the chest. There is no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. And there we actually get the image, which is interesting that they're giving us that. Can't we look at this bloody bag? This is the most conspicuous thing. Okay, interesting. Anyway, I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Okay, alright, we're back. So let's see what we can do logic-wise. We have 4 things to play with here. A neat and tidy table. Plastic bags strewn about. Fountain pen in pocket. Well, these two, obviously. Fountain pen in pocket. It has an especially nice nib. I just like that comment. And ink on his left hand. Why is there ink in such a place anyway? I believe it's to do with the fountain pen. If I'm wrong about this, I will eat the microphone in front of my face. Luckily for all of you and for me, this was correct. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand, I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Forensics. Detective Gumshoe. I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I just looked and made a very good guess. You know, I've been doing this job for a very long time. I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. It's funny because as I was reading that line out from Gumshoe, I was kind of thinking about how that actually just seemed like it just seemed like he was, you know, a normal, confident detective in that moment. So it's funny that he commented on it. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, dun dun, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal, great. So that goes into our evidence, but not here. But there's nothing about the gun here anyway. Okay. I don't know if these two are connected because I guess from my logic, just from my personal logic, as I said, it doesn't necessarily seem that these two things are at odds. It's not like, wow, how come some things in the room are messy and some things are neat? But you know, like, I don't know what this game's logic is going to be, so let's give it a go. Alright, there we go. Very good. There is a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, several meters away from an undisturbed tea set. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I mean, couldn't it be that they just sort of had a struggle that was, you know, fairly quick and minor because they got to stabbing and shooting each other really quickly. Like if they each have a knife and a gun, or if there's at least a knife and a gun that are in play during a struggle, it's probably not going to take the people involved very long to get around to using them, you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be like a fight scene in a movie where they're going and hitting each of the walls. I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside the bag is related somehow. Oh, that's on the... hang on. Outside? Is it not on... It looked like it was completely contained within the bag. That's partly why it seems so strange. But it's very strange that it's only on the outside of the bag as well. Why haven't we even looked at that? Eek, please get that blood away from me, pal. No, we want to look at it. We haven't been able to look at it yet. Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? This should have been the first question. This should have been the first question I think that we asked at the beginning of the episode. Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. All right, please hurry. Why don't you ask the lab guy? I guess Gumshoe has to have something to do, right? Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. Okay, so the inside of the bag has no blood in it. I'm not sure which is stranger. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. It is really, and I don't know why this is the first time we're considering it, but I am considering it now thinking, now with the knowledge that the blood is on the outside of the bag. So weird. How is it that the blood only got on the outside of the bag? That is so strange. I mean, if one of them was stabbed and then the bag was near the wound, or was put near the wound, or they got stabbed and the bag was underneath them. But then the thing that's so strange about that is thinking that the blood is not only on the bag, but not on the floor around it. That's what's really so strange about this, is why is it exclusively located on the bag? I honestly can't picture why right now. Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal. I can't even picture how you would only get blood on the outside of a plastic bag like that. I mean, is the bag not inside out? One of the bags strewn on the floor of lobby number 2 has Faraday's blood on it. Like, because you can turn these bags inside out. It would just be that the clipping mechanism, the clipping plastic zip mechanism at the top would obviously not work. But can we check? Is it definitely, but then again, if you had a bag full of blood, how on earth would you turn it inside out without blood getting everywhere? Anyway, yeah, so that's probably not it. Man, that is so weird. Well, let's chat to Gumshoe. I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating. We've been doing that. Detective Gumshoe, I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. What do you know about running an investigation, little boy prosecutor? I mean, I love that he's having a go at him. I know that at the very least I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here. I think it would be in many ways a more enjoyable dynamic if they were kind of constantly having a go at each other, so you could still have Edgeworth making, crappy comments about him and threatening to dock his pay. But if Gumshoe gave it back, even just to him, and was still a sweetie pie to everybody else, that'd at least make it an enjoyable tete-a-tete kind of thing, It would make Edgeworth's comments seem less mean. Whereas as it is, Gumshoe is just a completely sweet puppy dog. Although that makes him a terrible detective, he's a completely sweet puppy dog. And Edgeworth is just firing barbs at him constantly, and threatening his his precarious economic position as well. Why you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way. This is really enjoyable. Ironic coming from the guy that's been a step behind me the entire case. Then again, I mean, in reality, we can't disregard the fact that Gumshoe is a genuinely terrible detective most of the time. This is my first time setting foot outside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be for my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. As a suspect detective? That was a funny little animation. Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room really is decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all. I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right, this room is rather well furnished. Is it? It's pretty sparse. I mean, you're calling this well furnished. It's pretty dire. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. Hang on. I forgot to do something really important. Yeah, pal. Gumshoe, take a look at this. Hey, so that's a prosecutor's badge, huh? You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not? You got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective. So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? If you so happen to want to take a look, I just might be able to make your day. Oh, look at Edgeworth fronting. Did we ask about this in the lobby as well? We probably did, because I showed everyone my badge and we were able to talk to Gumshoe, right? And yet... Yeah, because he made this comment about a real man having a police badge. So we have done this before. I'd sort of forgotten, but it was enjoyable to see again. Yeah, someday I'm going to be like Detective Bad. I wonder actually... And someday I'm going to be an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. I guess this is just Edgeworth doubting him. Doubting that he'll be an ace detective because because of his obviously poor skills. But I wonder if it's actually because of a suspicion about Detective Bad. And if so, that probably bodes well for Detective Bad. Okay, what can we... Oh, finally! The bloodied bag. Let's take a look. This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found, which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? Yes! That's how it works. That was funny, but it didn't give us any extra information. I guess there's nothing else to look at. Whee! Alright. We can't look at that. We can look at the fountain pen. It seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using very nice fountain pens. That's the total opposite of me. I don't get these things at all. Heh, well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine. Really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something. That wasn't exactly a compliment, detective. Well, it wasn't not a compliment, was it? This is, They're really drawing our attention to this nib and letting us investigate it. Like, it was enough. It was probably enough to simply look at the fountain pen without any detail to establish that that's where the ink came from. So this means something else. This means something else that we're looking at this in a lot of detail. Hey, let me test it out, pal. Ooh, this is really... Ah, I got ink all over my hand. Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with the evidence like that again. I'm not sure it will be the last time. That appears to be that. Right? There's nothing else to look at on the... No. Ooh. Okay. That's that. Okay. I mean, I don't know. They say Faraday brought this in as evidence. It could be, Faraday has a very nice quality pen, could have a nice quality whatever this is, whether it's genuinely some kind of knife or a letter opener. That's the phrase I was after before, letter opener. I briefly forgot that. Okay, so let's finally look at this window. This is obviously a very important one. The window is open and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Oh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. It seems important that there are flowers down there. I wonder if we're gonna notice that they've been trampled or find traces of, the scent of the flowers or evidence of the flowers on somebody's shoes. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? I mean, obviously they've somehow made it through the bars. I don't know how, but it's happened. Or maybe they've just simply orchestrated the killing through the bars? I mean, the gunshot was from several feet away, so that is entirely possible. You can just stick a gun through here. You could be outside that window, with the window open, get a gun through the bars and shoot somebody. The knife, though, I mean, that's a trick shot. That's a trick shot to get a knife, to throw a knife into someone's chest like that. But that's a job for forensics. Forensics should be able to tell, has that knife been placed with close range human force into somebody, or has it been thrown? I'm sure that forensics should be capable of telling the difference between those two things. Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Oh, it's on the 3rd floor, okay. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Hang on, I thought that he wasn't. Yeah, alright, I see what Edgeworth is doing. He's saying the other reason that they wouldn't be able to do that is the iron bars on the windows. But I mean, Gumshoe's point was fine. But anyway, now we have the iron bars on the windows logic. Great. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Well, they thought of some things. Obviously, a murder has still taken place here, so I don't know if they've thought of everything. That's probably that television. Whoa! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. It's such an odd use of pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television, like normal. I mean, alright, look, it is normal these days. These days people have enormous televisions, I totally get it. I haven't had a TV in a very, 15 to 20 years, somewhere in that. So I've lived in places, I've lived in at least one place where where there was a TV that came with the place, like attached to the wall. It was a bit odd, but so yeah. Anyway, it wasn't that big. It wasn't this big. Anyway, look, it is kind of normal for a lot of people to have enormous televisions these days, let alone the these days that is being referenced in this game, which is much earlier. But I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of normal, I suppose. Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge. Whoa, and way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Did he just turn that on by pressing a button? I don't think so, right? I feel like he just pressed that on. He just turned that on by pressing the screen. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. Oh, so actually the TV seems important. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. But hang on, I feel like we want to investigate the TV a little bit more. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. there's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. No way, pal. Really? I suppose I will just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. It's the gun, right? It's the gun. Yes, it is. I mean, it's certainly connected to logic. Where is the thing about his... Yeah, the left-handed Faraday. Ba-ba. Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. Again, I'm just saying some people are ambidextrous, but, yeah. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday won't hold the gun in his right hand? It's interesting that this has come up in the last case as well. That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, right pal, that does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. I was just spacing out there for a second, just thinking about this whole scene. Here's the autopsy report. She's so little. She's 13. She shouldn't be here at all. It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Yeah. That is an interesting point. So Mr. Faraday... I guess one way of thinking about this is that the first thing that happened is that Mackerel was shot by somebody through the iron bars here. When he was shot, he assumed Faraday had shot him, and then he pulled out his knife and stabbed him. I was kind of originally thinking like neither of these guys killed either one of, neither of these guys did anything here. They were both just killed by a third person. But it could be, yeah. It could be that Mr. Faraday did actually get stabbed by Mackerel. Okay, interesting. It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case. Are you sure we know everything? Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? He's so happy. He's so happy she's wrong. Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? Nah. He was so confident a moment ago, and so quickly he is wounded by this very simple retort. I don't think he's as confident as he sounded. It's all right. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any other contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. Ba-bam. What happened? Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell, and Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should look for any holes in her theory. Alright, so this is most likely a matter of timing. So Mr. Rell survived for a short time, therefore Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Let me take a look at what we've got. Alright, only these. These are our notes, so... Discovered immediately after a gunshot was heard. This could be the thing. Faraday died after a knife stab to the chest. The shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. Wow. Rell died of a bullet wound to the chest. There is no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he would... I mean, it could also just be this, the distance between them. It's possible... There is no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. It's possible he was alive for a little while after being shot. So, just thinking about the facts in front of us, you know, that will... Like, if we assume, obviously the incorrect thing is that it's just between these two, which we know is not the case. There's definitely a third person involved. But if, you know, the logic of having these two people, only these two people here killing each other, if there's a distance between them, they're saying, Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest instantaneously. So therefore he actually must have shot first, but he was shooting from a distance, and then Rell, just in theory, Rell could have moved over to him and then stabbed him, and he died instantly. And then Rell died. Okay. So that in itself is not too odd. Is it going to be... It's going to be the layering then, because Faraday is here on top of Rell. That must be it. That must be it. I'm feeling fairly confident about that. Which statement, though, is the one? Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Okay. I mean, I guess it could be either of these statements. Kind of could be either one. I genuinely don't really know which one is more likely, but let's try this. No. This is the piece of evidence that proves the flaw in your theory. Miles Edgeworth, you dare try to bluff through this by presenting unrelated evidence? No, it's really good evidence. You're a disgrace to the Von Karman name. Nah. Could I have it all wrong? It's the wrong statement, I think. It's the wrong statement. It could also be that I need to press to get some more information, but let's just try this. Let's just try it. No, it's not this either. There is a clear contradiction in your line of logic. And where, pray tell, would that contradiction be? Maybe nowhere? Exactly. Nah. Could I have it all wrong? I don't think I do. I'm sure that it's this. At this rate, I'll lose the truth for all eternity. I need to pay more attention to her testimony. Okay, I think I probably need to press for more details then.
Hold it!
Let's just press this. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died? Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday. Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled, and in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. It's really not that messy. There's just some things on the floor immediately under them. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Can you really say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So if you could append that statement to your testimony, fine. Here we go. They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Oh, that's not how I expected it to be. To be worded. I still think this is the contradiction, right? Like that Faraday wouldn't have fallen on top, or in this scenario, in this theoretical scenario, Faraday wouldn't have fallen on top of Mackerel. I have to keep remembering the fish to remember his name, honestly. But given that it's specifically about the struggle and the counterattack, I don't know, it could still be, but it seems actually it's more likely, just given the way that this game typically works. I think this is the actual evidence, but I feel like what they're asking me for is this, because it says, didn't hear a sign of a struggle. So, objection! Let's do this. I think what I'm thinking of maybe comes after. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Again, I think this is a slightly weak source argument, because it's really just someone from outside and what they thought they heard. But, okay. You place too much faith in that detective's testimony. That's what I'm saying. I'm always agreeing with the, with the counter arguments. But, it's important. We've got to have a strong argument. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed? Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Yes, something is off. Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Hang on, I've got to get in my head the stabbing and the shooting order and all of that. It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday, long-haired, blue-suited Faraday, to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Yes, it's not. Is it still this one? Does this have the immediate? Yeah, instantaneous death. Okay, so it's this.
Take that!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Ooh, you got me. She don't look swayed. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. She must be glowing inside at that compliment. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go. As do we. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is, finally, the time, the order the bodies fell. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled, Francisca. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, I'm so satisfied that my evidence has finally come out. Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must... No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. He was thinking. He's in the middle of an important thought. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. Well, this is the point at which I'm going to have to leave this episode. I'm not sure what Francisca is going to come back at us here with, but I'm very interested to find out, and I hope you are too. Or actually, maybe you've already played this before, so you're not. But I hope that you're interested in me discovering what it is that she's talking about at the very least. And of course, as always, I hope that you're enjoying this playthrough. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're going to... We're going to have another little back and forth with Francisca, I think. But I think that where we're going with this is concluding that something is much more complicated in this crime scene than we thought. And I hope that we're going to start talking about this possibility of a third person. And also I want to look more at that TV. But anyway, or think more about it, or I don't know, something. There's something interesting about this TV. We haven't considered it at all really at this point. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.